And we'll continue with A House Like a Lotus by Madeleine L'Engle. At dinner, Kate and Zan were talking about tryouts for the school spring play, open to everybody in the high school. It was always a Shakespearean play, and this year it was going to be As You Like It. Zan said they chose that because there are so many female parts. They never get enough guys. Oh, come on, Zan, Kate urged. If you try out, you'll get any part you want. It'll interfere with tennis. No, it won't, Kate said. They schedule rehearsals so they don't interfere with anything. I knew she'd talk him into being in the play, and she'd probably be Rosalind. Max asked, "What are you going to try out for, Polly?" I used Zan's ploy, which hadn't worked for Zan. I'll be practicing for swimming. I told you, Kate said. The rehearsals are during school hours. You could have one of the boys' parts if you want, Paul. They always have to use girls, too. I saw Max and Ursula look at Kate, then at each other. Daddy said, I don't think Polly needs to limit herself to male roles. Oh, I didn't mean, Kate said. It's just that she's tall and they need tall girls to play men. I'd tried out for the play the year before and had a walk-on. Even so, it was the most fun I'd had from school the whole year. Do you get a choice of whom you try out for? Ursula asked. Kate said, well, you can ask. Zan said, I'll try out if Polly will. Oh, sure, I said. At least I can paint scenery. I did not mention that I had no intention of trying out for the backstage crew. I was going to try out for Rosalind or Celia. Miss Solosky did the casting. In March, Boulaire was brilliant with azaleas in great banks around the house. Max's gardener got extra help, and the grounds rivaled the great gardens in Charleston. The magnolia trees were heavy with waxen white blossoms. The camellias were exceptionally brilliant. All the long windows were open to the verandas and the ocean breeze and the singing of the mockingbirds. On the day of the tryouts, I got home from school to find a normal kind of chaos. The little kids had friends over and were shouting out on the swings and slide. The lab door was shut with an old hotel do not disturb sign on it, which meant Mother was doing something tricky with equations on the computer and needed to concentrate. I called Max. I have news. Good. Terrific. Come on over and tell me. Urs is in Charleston, and I was going to call you anyhow. You beat me to it. I didn't want to disturb Mother about the Land Rover, but Zan said go ahead. He'd tell Mother as soon as the lab door was open again. So I headed for Boulaire, singing at the top of my lungs. Max was out on the steps waiting for me. So what's the big news? I'm going to play Celia in As You Like It. She flung her arms wide and gave me a big hug, then pulled back. Who's playing Rosalind? One of the seniors. What about Kate? A shepherdess. Max laughed. I'm delighted about Celia. Absolutely delighted. She has some splendid lines. With the right director, Celia can almost be as good a role as Rosalind. She pulled me into the hall. Let's go up to my veranda. There's a lovely breeze. On the landing, we paused to look at the statue of the Laughing Christ. He approves, Max said. He thinks you're terrific. When we got out on the veranda, I sat at the glass-topped table to get my homework out of the way. Max curled up on the cushioned wicker couch and read till I'd finished. When she saw me putting my books away, she said, Your parents have done a good job with you, Polly, and they've taught you something contrary to today's mores. That instant gratification is a snake in the grass. What do you mean? I zipped up my book bag. When you eat a meal, what do you eat first? What do you eat last? I eat what I like least first and save what I like best till last. Why? Because people who eat the best first and then likely can't finish the meal are apt to be the same way with the rest of their lives. Fun first, work later. The work seldom gets done. I giggled. What's funny? A couple of years ago, when we spent Christmas in New England with the grandparents, I was asked out to dinner with some friends who had a daughter my age, and they had turnips. Ugh! So I ate mine up fast so I could get rid of them and get to the rest of the dinner. And the mother saw me and beamed at me and said how wonderful it was that I liked her turnips so much. And before I could say anything, she gave me another great big helping. I was almost sick. Max laughed. Don't let it stop you from saving the best. When you came in today, you sat right down and did your homework, not putting it off till later. Well, as you said, if I put it off, it won't get done. What about your classmates? I pondered briefly. Some do the work, some don't. How do they expect to live? I don't think they think much about it. I think about it, but I haven't got anywhere. You'll do all right, whatever you choose. Wait. She disappeared into the bedroom and came back with a book. Listen to those mockingbirds, she said. They sound right out of the forest of Arden. She rifled through the pages. Here, This is practically my favorite line in all of Shakespeare, and it's Celia's. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, out of all whooping. It's going to be fun, I said. Rosalind has a line I love. Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. A bit chauvinist, Max said. Maybe men ought to speak more than they do, I suggested. Stay here, Max said, and again disappeared once more, but instead of coming back with a book, as I'd expected, she came back with a bottle of champagne. Nettie and Ovid have left some salad for us in the icebox, she said. We never got to it. We kept reading bits and pieces from As You Like It, and then some other plays. Sad ones, funny ones. I'd never realized just how alive Shakespeare is, how very present.